Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 2, The Shadow and the Blade, for what is probably the climactic battle. Somewhat less climactic now, because Teclis is an idiot. That said, while we're still sitting here driving corruption up and stuff, I think we may as well hang out and finish our siege towers. So let's kill Teclis off real quick. We'll have some of the guys come out of Angariel and finish him off. Snikch himself... Oh, sorry, this isn't Snikch. Festit, in Snikch's army, can grab magical reserves, and then we'll have, like, Bilefitch. I mean, just about anybody ought to be able to handle this, right? So here's what we'll do. We'll have Bilefitch go into march mode, run over here to the tower, and just press right up against that. Honestly, it might have been easier for you to get in the water and sail over, but that's fine. Seabrich can use the port at Angariel to come over here and show Teclis who's boss. Just a really bad play. Really terrible play on his part. I guess we'll take... I don't know. It doesn't matter. I should have taken the food. That was a mistake. You did it. You defeated Teclis. Alright, he can fall back to Angariel. And Snikch can get up here near Angariel and just, yeah, hang out. In fact, we're going to go into extra super replenishment mode. In fact, what am I doing? I'm being silly. Seabrich is the one who stands outside of the settlement. Obviously, if we want the extra replenishment, this is the way to do it. And you have enough movement left to be sneaky. Okay, how do you think that many Skaven, all standing together, are sneaky? I don't know, man. It's magic. Okay, now Bilefitch is in position... Not that we were likely to need help with this, but we may as well take some help with this. Really, those guys getting in position was more about making sure we have two stacks playing defense than it was about the battle itself. Alright, so the tower gets its Skaven corruption generator here, and then also, of course, Bell. Bell is good. The bell is also generating corruption, so that's... I mean, a lot of our buildings do. Pretty much all of our buildings do, it turns out. Just not the loot pile, which generates the wrong kind of corruption. And then, yeah, we're going to let Queek... Queek is one turn away... Or wait, sorry, Ikiclaw is one turn away from finishing... Yeah. We'll just let that construction finish, and then we'll roll Lothern. Very unusual for us to go into a battle with any reasonable level of preparation. So, the next concern... Tor Koruali. Once this upgrades to tier 4, we can build the Pestilence building, which will contribute additional Skaven corruption. But I'm wondering if the smart play is actually just to abandon Tor Koruali entirely and see if a Lithanar will come over here and take it back. Because we don't actually have to care about what its corruption level is if it's not mine. Yeah, given the way things have worked out here, I think maybe actually the best play is just to run away. Or we could gather more characters here and try to push the corruption level over that way. Because there definitely is one of our agents, I don't know which one, but one of our agents will be just producing corruption just by standing around. Is it you guys? Not actually easy to see what people's hero traits are. Here we go. Yes, it is these guys who spread corruption. I mean, the Plague Priests, of course. So we could just run a bunch of Plague Priests over here. We have a place to hire those guys nearby, right? Couronne should have it? Yeah, Couronne has one. So how many Plague Priests am I allowed to have? 57. There's sadly only one to recruit, but we are allowed to have 57 of them. Actually, it's a huge bummer that we're only allowed to have one, but we're only allowed to hire one right now. But we will totally hire one right now, and we will put all of his points into spread corruption, and then we'll just grab whatever. I mean, this guy is going to sit around on the world maps. There's not a ton of sense in giving him any army type skills. You're a specialist, and you're good at wounding people and damaging walls. Oh, no, wait, hold on. Sorry, I reset my skill points completely by clicking that. I always click these and think it'll just undo the ones that I want undone. But, like, how would it know? How would it know which are which? Okay. So you can run over there next turn, and the pool for those guys is universal, right? I don't have ability to recruit. Yeah, okay. And there are Eshin sorcerers as well. Do these guys have the same? Yeah, okay. They also spread corruption. So you know what? Both of you guys are also hired. It shouldn't take too long to run them over. So spread lots of corruption, and I don't know, it doesn't super matter what they have, aside from the points in spread corruption. Although this strategy obviously is vulnerable a little bit to disruption from elven agents on the ground. I don't think we should need any of these dudes for Lothern. I think the corruption levels in Lothern are going to go nuts in a very natural way. So we can also be... I'm a little leery of moving people out away from this area just yet. To be perfectly honest, I might just grab this on you. Just because I don't want to lose anything over here, but we're already trending pretty high, and that's without any of the corruption buildings finished, and yeah, this will be fine. We are going to be okay here. So Vomit doesn't... I guess let's just go down the list. Stunkritch, you have a place that you are going. So he'll be able to pick that up next turn. Obviously, it is actually really important that we don't lose Sartosa. It would prevent us from winning the game. So we have to take that kind of seriously. Queek is exactly where Queek needs to be. Erat is not able to contribute a huge amount. Just keep running toward the place you were running toward. Rel is fine. Staden is also pretty much past contribution. Cherry Flesh, yeah, a lot of our heroes are worthless at this point. And I don't think we're going to bother spending a bunch of gold in other places. We just got to make sure that the places that need attention are getting attention. So I think what Alithanar is doing is he's moving around to the Phoenix Gate to come down here and try to do something. Obviously, I think it's very unlikely that he will be able to do anything that is meaningful in any way. But I'm pretty sure that's why he's making the moves he's making. Maybe he thinks he can get the... Aw, Cherry Flesh got wounded. Maybe he thinks he can get the Shrine of Assyrion back since we only have one army in it. He's just going to go 1-to-1. But once we have a couple of heroes over there with 4 points of corruption each on them, it actually shouldn't take very long to corrupt that area out. Oh, Tyrion's coming. We might have to have... Shoot, I can't remember his name. Shaif. We might have to have Shaif fall back and kill Tyrion. Tyrion is coming at us from an angle that's maybe a little bit scary because if we lose Corone, that's one of the cities on the big list of 17. So if we lose Corone, we actually do lose our victory objectives. So we have to take that threat fairly seriously. Worldwalkers are still not quite able to deal with this one tiny group of orcs, which is... You know, sometimes I think maybe I didn't make the right choices ally-wise. I mean, the Norskins probably helped us out at some point, right? Fecticay will not be able to siege that successfully. So let's start the turn with Lothern. And then we'll have some other stuff to do. We'll worry about that then. Oh my god, so many followers. Why did we even get all of these followers? Alright. Naked Claw, it is time. And yes, we could absolutely auto-resolve this, but we're gonna do it manually because this is the climactic battle of the campaign, damn it. Alright, you guys are real good at shooting, and you guys are real good at shooting, and this is plus leadership. Probably this ought to go on... you. I don't know. Alright, let's do it. Let us slay an elven settlement for the final time. I am still disappointed that we didn't get to do our silly Doom Bomb. We got to pull a Vermintide, and that was fine. It's not super exciting. But I wish we'd gotten the Doom Bomb off on Lothern. So, 3 units of Dragon Princes are basically going to have no effect on the combat at all. The Dragon and the Eagles could make the wall combat a little bit trickier for us, but if they fly their flying units over near the wall, we'll be able to shoot at them from outside, so he may not try it. The AI has a tendency to keep all their flying stuff just like parked way in the back for some reason. It's not the correct way to make use of it, but I don't know why they're programmed to do that. Seems pretty obviously wrong. Okay, so we are going to have... I think my plan is going to be to hit the wall right here. And obviously the battering ram doesn't have a lot of options. It's going to go where it has to go. We'll just push these guys... Sorry, it should probably be... The one that has the swords and shields goes in the middle. The one with the halberds goes to the side. And then we just have the rest of the melee run up next to the wall, and then take their turns climbing up into the ladders once these things make contact, obviously. And we're going to be moving these units a lot, so it doesn't matter too much what we have them do. And Ikit Claw himself should probably not be standing in the open like that. Alright. They totally have enough troops to just man the entire frontal part of the wall, but they have chosen not to for some reason. Okay, so you guys can dock here, right? Let's go ahead and open that gate. Not that it will matter terribly if they fail at this. And then we want to make sure that we have our units doing sensible things. So the Warp Lightning Cannon may as well try to destroy this fort tower, which I guess means that we may as well put all of the siege stuff on it. I don't think that's going to matter very much, but it's worth doing. And then we are going to have a little bit of a problem with the elf. You know what? The Warp Lightning Cannon can work on that. We really do need to try to knock these guys out as quickly as possible. We're going to have problems with them. You guys can fire your stuff. Not that worried about the tower projectiles, but I am worried about all the elf archery nonsense. So I think we're fairly safe where we are, and it looks like they put their bolt throwers so far back that they couldn't possibly contribute, which is a bit of a baffling decision. So I guess we could just stay back here, honestly. There's not really a ton of reason for us to move up. Make sure that we are hitting this button. Wow, I'm really worried about that thing just tipping the hell over. I guess I should run Ikit Claw up because he could be dropping Warp Lightning on top of the wall. Although, you know, maybe it's not going to be necessary. It looks like our units might have it under control. Looks like they're focusing their fire very effectively. We might well lose a siege tower. Victory is in our grasp. I mean, yeah, I agree. It seems a little premature. You guys, I don't even know what to tell you. Just everybody get up here and I'll figure it out later when you're up here. Looks like we're going to take some significant damage moving the ram up, but I think it's going to get there. The siege tower legitimately may not get there. It should be outside of... Yeah, it's outside of that tower's range. I don't know. They're going to get one more volley on it. I can't really tell if it's going to be enough. Oh, maybe they're not going to get one more volley on it. Okay, and once it docks, it's invincible. It's too late for them to affect it by then. Okay, so these elven troops are heavily armored. Remember, the storm vermin with halberds have armor piercing. I'm going to... I was going to say let's turn the catapults on this thing, but it's basically dead already. It probably doesn't really matter. Over here we have our own Warp Lightning Cannons, which are doing just fine. You guys should probably get further over to the side, and we want... Who do we want up on the wall first? I mean, we have Storm Vermin. It's probably the Storm Vermin is the right answer to that question. You guys just get up on that wall and make stuff happen. We'll get some death runners up there as well. And I want my gutter runners close enough that they can actually be flinging stuff up onto the wall. And we have a wizard over here who should probably get close and drop some lightning. You can never have enough warp lightning. It is fitting that we end the campaign in a battle where we're going to cast warp lightning about 300 times, because I feel like that was very much our early game strategy. You guys need to get over here and get ready to climb the walls a little bit. We're going to keep the death runners further back. And Ikeclaw himself should follow up. We should get some work done up here. So we could also be brass orbing. Let's try to disrupt them as we approach. And I bought all these charges of menace below without really thinking about it, because I was just like, well, this is the battle, so why not? We don't need these menace below charges. These are not helpful. Oh, sorry. You guys should absolutely finish climbing. I forgot that they were one of the units I ordered to move to the side, because it no longer shows the icon for the siege tower on their portrait as soon as the siege tower docks. Okay, we should probably tell these guys to cool it. I'm gonna have them move up a little bit, actually, because there are horses and stuff for them to shoot at, but they're gonna harm my units more than they're gonna harm the enemy at this point, firing up onto the wall. Okay, Ikeclaw is in. He's gonna fight this nerd. Doesn't really make a lot of sense to cast anything other than Warp Lightning on the wall of the spells we have access to. Alright, Queek should absolutely also get up on the wall. If he can manage to make himself climb up there, if he can force himself through these other dudes. Okay. So now that the walls are not the gate is breached, for some reason, I guess they technically have units in this box. I'd really like it if this tower were no longer under their control, because we could move our gunners and stuff into position to open up on anything that comes out of the gates, and also to push through the gates eventually. And then this tower is also an issue. This tower's just about dead. I have these guys try to position themselves so that they're a little bit more useful. I guess we have you. You could cast some lightning. Alright, looks to me like we're probably going to win that battle up there. And actually, can I get the other Warp Lightning Cannon? Yeah, we could totally work this tower. But it's going to be a little bit longer before we manage to dislodge the troops on this side. Let's just throw some spells down there and mess with those guys. And there's the mage commander of their garrison fleeing desperately into the night. Some deep, deep cowardice. Alright, a lot of good gunfire. What is this? Can it see the siege? Yeah. It can see our siege weapons. Also, the Doom Wheel. The Doom Wheel should probably not be down here anymore. It looks to me like we basically got this under control, though. Alright, so you lot can move over to here now. They're not actually trying to come out, so we'll hang out here until it looks like it's about time for us to come in instead. Looks like their noble is nearly defeated. Oh, we could, we could turn Fire at Will back on for these guys. There are things for you to shoot at. You can do so safely. Alright, that'll break pretty soon. And as soon as it does, we're gonna fan out the... You know what? I'm gonna have them start moving now. They don't run that fast. Okay, and then we have a couple units of Storm Vermin with halberds. Let's get them up here. We do have people just shooting the wall, just because it's fun. I'm gonna have these storm vermin with halberds be the first ones through the gate. Oh, apparently we have storm vermin with halberds over here who have decided that they should be on the ground. Well, I guess we're through. Let's do it. Get down there and mess some people up. Let's throw down some distraction troops. And those halberd guys... Okay, they're still pretty far away. Well, I'm just going to tell them to... Well, no, I'm going to tell them to do this. Because what we actually need them to do is form a little bit of a barrier for our gunners to run in behind. Because there is still the very end of this battle that is going to require us to fight all that stuff that's grouped up over there. And who knows exactly how much that we'll actually have to do. But we got to be ready. Also, an interesting decision. Interesting time for them to run up onto the wall. Get down here and actually help. Looks like the Council Guard drew a little bit too much attention early on, and they're just gonna get themselves totally ruined. You know, I'm gonna turn off Fire at Will on the mortar guys again, and we're gonna do this. Alright, okay, halberds are coming. As soon as they're through, the guns follow them through. We set up on the other side. Looks like you guys can just get down here and mess some people up. Okay, so this is basically already over. Let's be honest. We shoot those guys with our cool warp lightning cannon. He might be able to put that shot together. Even though almost none of the shots are actually connecting, it's a terrifying amount of gunfire, you know? You pursue those guys, you get in here. You get in here. It looks like our storm vermin made it through, but aren't quite following orders. Let's grab all you guys together. Time has come to get inside, and we will figure this all out afterward. So, all of them are just in open retreat, right? It's just this single unit of Dragon Princes that remains. Let's solve that problem. I'm gonna leave Ikit Claw fighting this guy, because obviously there's a lot of value in killing the enemy commander. You guys can receive a charge. And, I mean, we're going to start taking damage from the bolt throwers any second now here. Hurry. Here, we can give these guys a little bit of time. Let's commit some units to the backside of the horses here to prevent them from escaping while the halberds run up. And then, like, we're getting pretty close to the point where it's just everybody runs forward and kills. You guys are maybe overcommitting. Now you know what, I was right. Run. Just back up. I'm sure I told you to do this, but disregard me and back up. Alright, our siege stuff is mostly out of ammo. Wow, Jezzail's are getting that done quickly. Okay. Well, this thing should not have advanced on us, and it's going to realize that real soon. Oh, good point. I do have units still outside the wall. You know what? Honestly, I think it's probably about charge-in time. Let's just have most of our people commit really deep right now. You guys will also fire at those dudes, I guess, for the moment. I don't really know what else they can do. Alright, so we got some dudes breaking here. They saw the eagle panic, and that has made them panic. And the most important thing that we could really do right now is kill this dragon. So I'm going to give the dragon some small targets on the ground to fight if it wants to. That is totally working. And it's... They'd never seen a Doom Wheel before. The sight of the mighty Doom Wheel immediately broke their minds. But like, how does he... But how does it even work? If you look at that thing, the engineering of it doesn't make any damn sense at all. Why is it shooting lightning? Apparently the only way the elves have been able to keep their nation stable in the face of the Skaven onslaught is that most of them did not realize exactly what the Skaven onslaught was composed of. I will say that that is, like, that seems to me like the number one thing that the developers could do to improve the game. Like, the number one combat AI thing that the developers could do to improve the game is just improve how the AI places their units during defensive sieges. Because, man, they sure did just choose not to use all of their bolt throwers and flying units for that entire battle for no reason. And it turns out to make the climactic siege of Lothern only semi-climactic. Alright, Eataine is mine. The elves are thoroughly humiliated. Permanently humiliated. We got a fancy dock, which would eventually grow into a valuable thing, but obviously we don't have that kind of time. And Skaven corruption now trending toward, alright, 49.2%. We're getting there. We will get this sorted. The Shrine of Asurion is, like, super good. Okay, what else do we have that needs to get done this turn? Vomik is fine. I should use this thing. It'll cycle through all of our stuff. Rel is fine. Upside is fine. There is unfortunately some amount of just sitting around that is going to have to happen here. Wait, why am I not allowed to tell them to move to here? Oh, because it's too many turns of movement, I guess. No, it shouldn't be. That's a number of... Huh. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why that's taken so long. So we can build stuff in Lothern that will accelerate the process a bit. Obviously, we are going to exploitative planning, increase Skaven corruption by 3 points. We really don't need to care about all this. But since we're over here. Alright, Queek, this is where you live now. Go into replenishment mode. And so at this point, the only things we could really do that would make a difference would be to hire more sorcerers, right? And just keep running sorcerers everywhere. But obviously we can only do that in places with sorcerer buildings, which this is not. Is Lyonesse? No, Lyonesse does not have stuff. Castle Artois has stuff, which is... it's not even really closer than Couronne. I shouldn't be hiring them at Couronne, though. I should be hiring them here. So we can just see if any new sorcerers have come into the pool. They have indeed. We can get them very slightly closer. Alright, more Skaven. Always more Skaven. The answer to all problems is get more rats at the problem. 100% of the time. Alright, so those guys will run over, and it'll be like 2 turns before we have people making the shore transition there. It really does suck that Mistnar is held by a rogue faction instead of my faction. So it looks like things are going to turn out our way. I'll feel a little bit more secure once we have proper defenses up in Eataine. But right now, it is at least theoretically the case that Lothern could show up with enough guys and cause a real problem. Oh yeah, also the Tyrion problem. I forgot about the Tyrion problem. We do need to move Sheif. it shouldn't be a big deal. It's also possible, from the way that Tyrion moved that turn, it's entirely possible that he's not going for our territory at all. He's just sailing toward the elven city that we've claimed. And if that's the case, we might want to just move out of the way. Just run all of these wizards down to Eotane instead of the place they're going. Just push it over the line a little faster. I think I might try that. Yep, and we are still being raided in Galbaraz. Listen, there are some problems. There are some things we're going to have to deal with. Okay, we are not bothering with our missions, because I just can't... You can't make me care. There's no way to do it. Okay, Malice Darkblade. The tiny little force. Here's the real problem the Dark Elves are having. They have too many lords, and they think they need to keep them all. Which means that they have a bunch of tiny armies running around instead of any armies at all that could do anything. Okay, this guy's actually about to level cap. Then Stuncritch needs to get right back in the water because there are raiders to deal with. Alright, how's Sartosa doing now? It is +9. +9 will have to be good enough. We've also encountered the Wrath of Nature over here, so I guess that's that's what this army will be doing next. Is dealing with those nerds. Alright, so we have a couple of heroes that we have to just hit next turn on. A couple of guys who have to get brought over to here. Yeah, I think the problem is you can't tell a unit to move on to land that is not connected to land they're currently on because of how weird the pathing is with transitions between sea and land. Yeah. Build up Lothern. Even more Skaven corruption. We could actually make... No, we cannot make one of these here. We don't have the main settlement building high enough yet. Well, we'll get there. Defenses... Growth... Okay. Down here in the Adelan Mountains, we can do this thing. Get ourselves a better class of defense on the Awakening, which is probably worthwhile. I don't know what Erat's plan is here, but this is where the action is. So yeah, let's move away from Tor Koruali, so that if Tyrion wants to come over here and reclaim it, he can. I don't have to care about this. Because I bet that's what he's doing. My biggest concern is that he will try to stop off at Misnar and hit it first, and will be incompetent and fail to do so. You can just get into a mode that causes you not to... Does this spread corruption? No, it does not. Okay. Yep, just get into a mode that causes you not to ask me for orders every turn. Then we have some guys who will continue sailing toward this new shore. And let us hope Tyrion comes and rescues us. Rescues us from our bad earlier decision-making. But these guys should be... Honestly, this many agents with that much corruption attached to them should be able to flip this thing over pretty quickly. At least we can hope. And we can have them just get up on land at Misnar, if that is a thing that makes sense to do. Because there's no reason that they have to push all the way over there. Okay, Elithanar is coming. He might just be playing defense, it looks like. He's trying to stop our push, because there's no way for the AI to understand what we're doing here. Come on, Tyrion. Yep, he's just coming to rescue Tor Koruali. Okay, cool. That's pretty good for us. It looks like it'd be like 2 turns of movement for him to get up to us. So we just stay hidden in the distance. We probably actually move even further away, right? I don't want him to get spooked. If he sees through one of my ambushes, I don't want him to decide he needs to turn around and run. And to be perfectly honest, I was talking about our move up onto Ulthuan in terms of like, we'll get up there and we won't be able to hold it, but all we'll need to do is have it for one turn. At this point, I am 100% convinced that we could wipe out the High Elves. It would take a while, and it's certainly not worth doing in terms of actual human minutes spent, but we could absolutely wipe all of the High Elves off the face of the planet. I feel really bad for the soldiers. The individual soldiers totally have what it takes to survive a Skaven invasion, but their commanders are dumb as hell. Actually, it looks like maybe we can get these guys up on land over here. Oh yeah, totally. And can you get close? Not really. Okay, well, do your best. Okay, so that'll be... We are now pushing way past 50%. It is only climbing at 3% per turn, though. Here in this area, we're climbing a little bit faster. We could just ride on Alithanar. Like, he doesn't realize how many of us are here. Just ride over there and burn down Port Elistor. We obviously don't want to take it over. That would be really bad. But we could absolutely just burn it to the ground. Oh wait, you know what? You're spreading corruption. Yeah, we may as well. There's no reason to let him just have an army. So we'll throw some bodies at this, and then we'll move them right back to where they were from. I assume this will be enough. Then again, elves have their auto-resolve bonus. Yeah. Hold on. We're gonna make this a little bit more of a sure thing. Let's get Snix's army. He can come be a part of this thing. That's better. Okay. To the ground. Oh, I had an Undercity under there. Well, whatever. I don't anymore. And the game's like, look at all the damage your troops definitely totally would have taken from doing that. Alright, you can also become more corruptive. That could help. Hopefully you all understand why I didn't bother too much with the corruption skills during the campaign. It can be helpful, somewhat, to have your troops have that the bonus Skaven corruption points, have your lords have the bonus Skaven corruption points, so that when you're expanding into new areas, you are hitting higher levels of free Menace Below charges early on. The problem with investing skill points in that is that the Menace Below charges just have such low impact on a lot of combats. Okay, it looks like this guy thinks he's going to come up here and get something accomplished, so let's just be ready to ambush him. We could also lose this whole area, and it wouldn't matter. That's worth thinking about as well. I don't think I'm going to bother moving these armies. It's not worth it. It's not worth the time we would spend doing it. So once we can move Seabrich back into Eataine at the beginning of next turn, that'll be another 2 points of Skaven corruption for that province. I think we are looking at 2 turns of movement until Tyrion comes to potentially reclaim Tor Corwali, and also I think we'll be okay pretty quickly, even if he doesn't pull that off. One of our sorcerers was wounded, so I guess that's a problem. If our guys are too wounded, they cannot provide the corruption that we need. There's not a lot of ways to defend against that either. We just need to have our assassins jump those dudes. I'm a little surprised at how successful the AI Skaven armies have been so far, especially considering the very poor troops that they're made up of. There's only one pirate force remaining. The rest have been wiped out due to bad decision-making. Oh, the sword festers. Listen, the sword is festering. I'm gonna go ahead and return it. We don't care about this anymore. Stupid elf sword. Whole nations, whole dynasties of elves have been laid low by the magic elf sword. But if I had the magic elf sword, I would simply put it down. Let's get you guys back over here. Okay, so he'll be back to full in no time. And we are now trending. Okay, we're trending way north, so 4 percentage points per turn. Pretty good. Over here, we're gonna have a problem with this guy. Oof. Not likely to stop him from assassinating all of our dudes. I mean, obviously, he's going to have a hard time doing that because of the way that the exhaustion debuff works. He probably will not be able to get another assassination off this coming turn. Should I dismantle? I should dismantle the garrison building, right? Because, yeah, we're totally cool with Tyrion just retaking this. I wonder if it'll let me finish dismantling it, because it takes 1 turn to do it. If he sieges us up this coming turn, which he absolutely could... yeah, I don't know. Oh, also, we do have a real assassin in the area. Can we just... There you go, that's the numbers you're looking for. Let's be rid of this random elf mage, who probably should not have been able to wound one of our guys anyway. It's very embarrassing for our agent. Staden, you're fine. Science Surge, get a little deeper into the territory. May as well cap this out. And, you know, Public Order. Public Order's good. Although Public Order's less of a problem now that we no longer have the Cursed Sword. Right, everything on the mainland is so far over 50% corruption. And now the question is, do we attack Saji, or do we wait for Saji? Because I'm sure what Saji's going to do is roll up to the Awakening and put it into siege, right? Apparently our wall strength is not full somehow, despite the fact that we have held the Awakening for like a dozen turns. But like, Saji's going to roll up and grab the Awakening, and then press up against the side of the Awakening, and then we're going to take him on with even more forces. Because if we go at him right now... I'm going to have to manually play the battle out, I bet. Getting rid of him is the right move, though. And up against the wall of the settlement, we may find that 3-army problem begins to affect us again. And honestly, even if this is a bad victory, yeah, that's actually totally fine. It's way better than I thought it was going to be. But even if that had been a bad victory, we would have been fine to take it, because obviously... There's a good chance these armies will never do anything ever again. Okay. Easy enough. It turns out the elves are starting to... The strength of elves is beginning to falter. And we might actually end the campaign outside of starving level. So that's fun. It doesn't matter at all, but it would be... It would be a sign of some level of success over the mechanics, you know? Okay, my units are getting assaulted, that's fine, as long as they're not removing my agents. So the only thing that can really matter at this point is what Tyrion does. Oh, the coward! He doesn't even want to take back Tor Cornwallis. I wonder if the problem is that 18-unit garrison just looked too tough to him? Well, whatever. With all the mages in the area, we are pushing that corruption level up pretty quickly. It'll just be a couple more turns. Although it occurs to me that I should maybe go and double check that we actually have all of our other objectives set. I'm sure we do. I'm nearly 100% sure we do. But also, I'm thinking in my head here, oh man, what if I've forgotten something and I'm just sitting around waiting for nothing? College of Pyrotechnics will join my war against Hexoatl for a mere 8,000 gold. No, that's alright. I think I got it under control. I almost did it, just because I have such fond memories of fighting lizard men with those guys, but I think that's maybe not necessary. Oh, the Sword of Cain was claimed by the elves. They're going to come and try to bring it to us again. Wow. Casualty replenishment rate down 20% on all characters, not on all armies. I was going to say, that seems like an incredibly brutal effect, but if it's just affecting non-armied characters, then I don't actually care. Alright, so this is trending north enough, but, like... Here, this adds additional Skaven corruption. We'll build one of these. Let's go and get Comic back to here and have him go into ambush mode as well. Sorry, guys. You can't trust a Skaven. No, it's fine. I have it under control. My allies don't have to get involved. I'm surprised at how much damage we took there. How red that balance of power bar was. Out to here, where the punishment is possible again, and I don't know, man. If I don't spend the skill points, it'll just harass me until I do spend them, so we should spend them, but obviously not super relevant. Alright, Staden is still fine. Rel is still fine. Scalpake is also fine. I mean, you may as well run over here, but it doesn't really matter. Just stand around and stink this area up as hard as you possibly can. Is there anything to upgrade over here? I mean, we may as well. Here we have... Oh, that's a shame. I was really hoping it was... I mean, we can take Corruptive on him. Skill points on either one of the characters there are worth a little bit of extra corruption. So 3 per turn. That's a little annoying. And it looks like they are trying to put together some kind of force near Tor Corwali. Maybe we should move our armies out? Like, the trick here is I want to have my armies nearby because the characters in the armies are producing corruption as well. But obviously, if the AI is willing to take these things away from me, or take Tor Corwali away from me, I should let them do that. We'll see. We'll see if they try. I'll put these guys back in ambush mode. They're not in reinforcement range of the city. We'll see what happens. It'll still be a couple of turns. Otherwise, we don't need to move anybody. I should have assigned the skill points. Somebody has skill points to spend, and I did not notice. And why are there so many High Elf armies up in that area? Like, how long has Alariel the Radiant been up there? Is there an elf city up there, maybe, that is producing armies? Oh yeah, they do have some of the northern part of... Huh. That's a wild place to do recruitment. Like, they must have all of their recruitment structures like, several times over in on Ulthuan, right? It's crazy that they're recruiting in Norska. So without Lothern's army to push them around, it looks like Clan Pestilence might actually take over Lustria. I think somehow we made that possible. It would be very helpful to me if these high elves would just hurry up and take this empty, poorly defended city. Alright, I don't care about any of this. Okay, let's put you guys into ambush mode. And the rate of gain on that corruption is getting lower. Oh, you know what? This shouldn't be here. Let's replace that with a pestilent knave. I have no idea what's going on with these turns where we just gain 20 followers for no reason. That feels like a bug, right? That definitely shouldn't be happening, although I can't imagine why it would be happening. You underway move, because there is still another rogue army to put down. You're good, you're good. Yeah, we have a lot of heroes here who are all fine and don't need to do anything.
Secrets. Better than Gracia.
It takes such a long time to refresh this icon. Really wanted to... Do we really not have... There was somebody who needed to spend skill points last turn, wasn't there? Does dismissing that notification once get rid of it forever? Because if somebody wants to gain skill points, we should... Huh. Well, whatever. I guess it's not a big deal. So it'll be a couple of turns before we can summon wizards here. Oh, actually, hold on. No, that's not true. This building allows us to summon... Oh, no, it has to be tier 4. Because we could flood these areas with more heroes that will produce more corruption, but I'm not actually sure, although that would make the corruption flip over happen faster in terms of game turns. I'm not actually sure that it will be faster in terms of our minutes. You know, hiring and then microing the heroes over, because it's not going to be all that many turns as it is. And I think we can actually we can run the enemy turn sequences in super fast forward mode from now on. We don't really need to see what anybody's doing anymore. Obside got wounded somehow, which is ridiculous. I super could not care what you have to say. So what putting the thing in super fast forward mode mostly does is makes it so you don't have to watch people move. Okay, Tyrion is not a threat to anyone. You can get more points of spread corruption. You can probably get more points of spread corruption. Yeah, I mean, it's climbing. Oh, right. Well, it's still fine here. We'll start building one of these, because that way we could maybe recruit some heroes here. And I guess Tyrion might run over here and get himself super murdered, which would be okay with us. Okay, those guys are just directly this way, so keep doing that. And then I don't think we want to do anything with anybody. We are accumulating a truly impressive amount of wealth here, and we absolutely have the resources necessary to put together another army if we wanted to, but I also just can't see why. Like, what would make that worthwhile? So on our coming turn here, we'll see what Tyrion did. We'll see whether it's worth having a couple of our armies dash off to murder him, because it might be. Totally might be. My suspicion is we're going to find that he has fallen back to do coward stuff, because he's an elf. And that's how he gets down. Okay, so you guys are heading over there. Yep, Tyrion's not going anywhere. He doesn't actually want to do a thing. He fears us. And, you know, listen, rightfully so. He absolutely should fear us. Okay, so that being the case, we are all good here. I guess, like I said, let's just double and triple check the objectives. Destroy factions, control settlements, obviously maintaining 100 units is not a problem. So yep, we're just waiting for corruption to climb. It's going to be like 2 or 3 more turns of us not really doing anything. So, of course, if all you wanted to see was whether or not we got it, we got it. You could probably go now. And I could probably end the video and clip back in when when we actually hit the levels we need. I'm super annoyed that that hero has been successful at assassinating multiple units, units in turns where he has the exhaustion debuff, because that is going to slow our stuff down a little bit. We might have to recruit more units, or recruit more sorcerers to come and run over there, just because all of our sorcerers that are near Tor Corwali are going to get assassinated. Which is super... Oh, I should remember to hit the button. Which is super annoying. Like, the only thing the elves could possibly do to slow down our victory at this point, they are, of course, unbelievably unfairly efficient at doing.
Many kills today.
Hey, Rat, get rid of this guy.
Good, something to kill.
No more wounds. No more wounding. Okay. Phomic's loyalty is critical, but I'm sure we'll get a loyalty event to fix it. I can't imagine it'll actually turn his army. If it does, we will certainly just collapse on him and instantly slay him. Stun Critch can kill this guy this turn, it looks like. Ooh, maybe. I guess it depends on whether or not he successfully escapes our attack. Okay, so that's all of the rogues dealt with, for the moment at least. You know what, you're also going to spread. This is sympathetic corruption. This corruption doesn't actually accomplish anything. And then honestly, like, you guys are done forever, probably. Let's make sure that we're 2 turns away from having some hero recruitment there, and a ways away from having it down here. But also, in 2 turns, Lothern will be flipped, and in how many turns at current rates? Oof. At current rates, bad. Yeah, well, we need that recruitment to happen. Let's go ahead and recruit. We don't need to pull the Plague Priests, because it'll be faster to just pull them near Torquor Raleigh when it finishes. But we can get these guys, I guess. To make you slightly better at wounding and try to kill off the elven agents before they come for you. It is super annoying that they were willing to do the very petty, spiteful thing that they are doing with making sure to assassinate our useless wizards. They don't even know how the game mechanics work. They're just doing it because they like being mean. Alright, almost nothing they could do matters here. And for some reason, me having clicked that didn't actually register. Okay, and they are just absolutely spitefully wounding all of my sorcerers to prevent the corruption value from going up. I would actually feel better about it if they, if the AI was programmed in such a way like that it understood what was at stake and it was trying to actually accomplish a thing. But I know it's just killing our guys because it's shitty, and that makes me a little mad. Alright, so the guys who are getting assassinated right now are down here.
I will not.
But I clicked on my own. I could not be clicking on my own unit at my own unit's flag any more clearly there.
Silent killer, yes. Contract the taken.
Okay. Whatever. Just take the points and be done with it. We do have another assassin in the area who can come down and start working on the other guy. It's going to be a little bit. Okay, just dismissing all of our notifications. So next turn we'll do some more summons there. Here we absolutely want to start building that. Unfortunately, this is a pretty uninhabitable climate for us, so we cannot build things here very quickly. And it does not matter at all what we do with this slot. I guess that makes sense. Okay. So next turn, Lothern is at the 50% threshold, and we're just waiting on the other thing. Oh, I forgot to those 2 sorcerers we built last turn. Totally have. Well, sorry, the 1 sorcerer, because of course the other one got wounded instantly. This is kind of what I was talking about when I said it might not be worth our human minutes to try to make this thing happen. We're getting very, very little effect out of having spent the time necessary to do this. And honestly, Alariel the Radiant can, as long as she doesn't attack Corone, she can do whatever she wants over here. It doesn't harm us to lose any of this stuff anymore. Okay, I like very much that we are able to recruit sorcerers directly. This is too many notifications. Use the keyboard to click through them faster. Alright, recruit heroes. These guys are recruiting at lower levels here, which is unfortunate because it means we won't be able to take all of the points and spread corruption. But we do get to skip the run over time, which matters quite a bit. Alright, even more corruption. I mean, it doesn't... yeah, whatever. Okay, you... I don't know why it can't properly render their movement distance into the water, because, like, it shows that he'll be able to move to here. It is trying to draw his movement into the water, but it's just doing a really poor job of it. Alright, +2 per turn. And next turn, you know, we'll come back and see if there are more Plague Priests in the pool. But we are very, very close to this being done. Only thing that could really happen to us now that would have any effect at all is maybe Alariel the Radiant turns back around and goes to Couronne. But even if she did, she wouldn't be able to attack it very quickly. She'd have to sit and build up siege tools and stuff. And Tyrion, I guess, could stop sitting on his hands and actually come over here and fight us, but that would not actually add a lot of time. It would just add enough time for me to move my armies over and murder his entire elven face-off. Loyalty up. Okay. Whatever the option is that does plus loyalty, that's the option we take. Here we have... do we have new sorcerers? One new sorcerer. Good enough. Think of how badly this island is going to stink by the time we're done with it. You should probably go assassinate that guy. If you can. That's sad. Alright. No amount of killing units is going to be enough to stop the corruption change from happening, because we have enough corruption from our buildings. I believe in both places now. So at this point, like, honestly, the worst that could happen, even in the best case scenario for them where they manage to hit all of their wounds and everything, is they slow us down by like a turn. We are gaining a lot of traits regarding enemy hero actions because the elves have so many agents doing so many shitty, spiteful things in our territory. That makes sense, though, right? If we invade the elven territory, or we invade the elven homeland, we take a bunch of stuff over. They don't have the wherewithal to actually be a threat to us, but you could actually absolutely see them just being, like, spiteful about it, really spiteful and mean. It turns out this is handled now, so, I mean, we may as well just kill you. Move you right up to there, and Shife, you can put Teclis away one last time. We hit the ambush, too. That's just insult to injury. And look at that. The ambush has worked for us one last time. So, Tor Koruali is at 50% trending upward, right? I can't actually select it, because there are so many units in the area. Yeah, is our objective to have at least 50%? So we should have won, then. Because we are at 50... Maybe it only checks at end of turn. Okay, well then let's hit the end of turn button and be double certain of that. I'm pretty sure this is the only settlement. Was turn 322 the one? It was not. Somewhere we have a province that doesn't have enough corruption, I guess? Well, now we have to go find it. I can't imagine. Anywhere on the eastern continent is going to be receiving such an incredible amount of corruption by osmosis that it would be way, way, way over, like 80% plus. The only places where we could realistically not have enough corruption are the Whirlpool, where we know we do, or one of the places on Ulthuan, which we know we... Okay, stop. Oh my god, stop with the pop-ups. What an incredibly annoying way for that to work. Alright. So Torquali is at 52%. Eatane is at 55. Galleon's Graveyard's at 73. Poxmarsh is at 74. And the island down here is at 64. So it is still saying this is the problem. Okay, this is shitty, but we'll go through each and every one of our owned settlements in this way? Because we looked at the global corruption meter last episode, and it was pretty clear that we had succeeded. 95%, 87, 82, 78. We're going to find one place that's like hovering at 49 for some reason. Ah, Nagashizar is at 48 because of this building. Well, that should be solved pretty much immediately now. We'll go ahead and recruit some sorcerers. That is a very silly problem to have had. Because there was another place where we had a building that was giving a ton of vampiric corruption, and I was careful to make sure that we were still overwhelmingly Skaven there, but I did not realize that this was a problem too. Alright, Halskery, spread some corruption. There we go. Okay. I don't know exactly how the timing is going to work out on that. So this is... Where's this? Broken Teeth. Okay, let's just keep going down the list and make absolutely sure. Probably the way the objective for this ought to be implemented is that it gives you a list of the settlements you own. Like, you should be able to click on it and have it zoom to a settlement you own that doesn't fit the requirements, or something like that. You shouldn't have to do this weird little hunt. And it didn't, with the corruption lens up, that area didn't appear as though it didn't meet the requirements, because it was so close to meeting the requirements. And the way they've chosen to display it is with a very imprecise gradient instead of, like, numbers that are easy to see on everything. It looks like we're good everywhere else, though. Man, we have a lot of territory. This takes a long time. Actually, can I just press, like... No. Cannot navigate this list with the arrow keys or anything. That's a shame. That would have been a real good way to do this. 4, 87, 78... Yeah, to be perfectly honest, I'm a little surprised that Broken Teeth was a problem even with the amount of vampiric corruption that building was producing, just because we have so much osmosis. Galleons, yeah, we're extremely fine here. 73, the Wolflands. There's all this territory down in the southeast corner of the map that I don't even know what it does. I don't even know, like, what's over there, because you never ever need to go over there. 981. It looks like all of the other stuff that we completely own is fine. Baltic is fine. Middenland is, yeah, it's super good. All of the other stuff on the continent is super good. Okay, so it might be a turn or two. I don't know exactly how long it's going to take for that that Broken Teeth province to flip over, because I believe that building will be destroyed at the beginning of our next turn. We already have the bonus points of corruption running. Yeah, I'm not really sure how long this will take. My guess is it's not quite going to be enough at the beginning of this next turn. We'll have to hit end turn one more time and sit through one more sequence of enemy turns. And there are elven armies moving around, ships in the water, but I don't think they're going to do anything that matters. I guess Tyrion could be... What is your deal? No, go away. Tyrion could sail to the Galleon's Graveyard, I guess. I don't think he can get there and make anything happen quickly enough. Okay. So, Broken Teeth. Somewhere around here. Okay, yeah, 48 plus 4%. So next turn will be good. Let's just pop back over here. Malmir is sailing northward, in fact. Yeah, he couldn't attack the Galleon's graveyard this next turn anyway. Okay, I think we're good. Nothing happening over here that we care about. Whatever happened to Alariel the Radiant's army? I don't know. Who cares? They're just high elves. What impact could they possibly have on the fate of the world? That's a lot of notifications. I bet that I could just hit like Shift-Enter, and I could skip all of those. Do this. So you can see the balance of power bar between our two civilizations is tipping back in their direction. They've almost managed to build up enough armies out in the darkness to even things out. But I have absolutely zero doubt that we would trivially kill them all if we decided to actually play out the war. Trivially in terms of difficulty, not in terms of time. In terms of time, it would be a long while. Okay, victory! In a world of chaos, a time of heroes, an age of war. You have overcome every challenge laid before you and faced down every foe bent upon your destruction. That's all true. This strange and dangerous realm, riven with battle, bloodshed, and slaughter, twisted beyond sanity by the warping power of chaos, yes, it's definitely chaos that's at fault, has seen the foundering of many a mighty empire, yet yours remains triumphant and unconquered, and so very smelly, victorious in defiance of all. The warped history of the corrupted Skaven race lists their many attempts to overthrow and enslave the other civilizations under the iron claw of Skaven rule. But now, under your control, the verminous hordes seethe openly across the face of the world, chittering their triumph in praise of the great horned rat. We certainly earned that. I mean, listen, I have played a Mortal Empires campaign before. I knew it was going to take a while. That still took more of a while than I was expecting. Man, there were some periods where we were having a really rough go at things, right? Like at the beginning when we were first trying to push out into Bretonnia, yeah, somewhere around here, things got a little rough. And then when we were taking Reichland and we kept gaining and losing and gaining and losing and having to push people back, and then the elves betrayed us. Many nightmares, many nightmares. Let's have a final look at the statistics page here. 209 settlements captured, and it's some lost. Let's ignore that number. Very nearly 2,000 buildings constructed. Diplomacy. We did a little bit of that. We eliminated 39 factions from the game, which is an impressive number. We made some money. We fought some battles. We had... I'm really looking for the battles thing. We killed 367 lords. That's impressive. We did manage to make it out without having to personally fight the majority of our battles, which was a thing I was a little bit worried about at the beginning of the campaign, because I know the auto-resolver does not like Skaven units. A mere 104 military defeats. Listen, it happens. Sometimes your minor settlements get attacked. You can't always play defense, and also, it's usually not worth playing defense. Why would you play defense when a failure on defense just gives you another opportunity to play offense? Which is the fun role anyway. Anyway, that is probably a pretty good place to call the series. That was a long one, but it was fun, and the Skaven units are super cool. Like, it's just, weapon teams are still super fun to use. Thank you all so much for watching. Any of you who made it all the way to the end of this, you are Endurance Run champions. Well done. Your award is in the mail. Come back next time, tomorrow, for more different stuff. Listen, there's going to be more strategy games. We're going to come back to Total War Warhammer at some point. I need a break. Maybe kind of a long break. But we will be back. So come back sometime in the future for more old world shenanigans, and also tomorrow just for other stuff, other cool new stuff. And we'll see you then.